Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast, and today we're going to be going over the Orioles game that happened yesterday afternoon. I'm recording this the next day in the morning, but the Orioles game did happen yesterday, and once again, they did find a way to lose, and now the Orioles are 10 games below 500, and they also obviously just got swept by the Twins. So they lose 5-2 yesterday, and the offense went out there, they got on base, but once again they couldn't produce with runners in scoring position. And the pitching, Dean Kramer got through 7 innings. He did very, very good, but the bullpen just kind of blew the game late, and then the offense wasn't able to respond as well. So just an overall disastrous series for the Orioles. Obviously, they got swept once again this season. I think that's the third or fourth time that they've gotten swept this year, and they're still sitting with only 2 series wins heading into this weekend series against the Angels in Anaheim. So, again, this Orioles season is very all over the place, and it's very disappointing, obviously. But again, you just have to hope that they're eventually going to have to get themselves out of this hole. There's been multiple times and multiple occasions in the past with MLB teams who, in the first month and a half of the season, start off really bad. But all it takes is just one hot month for them to really get going. And it is still early in May, so they could still find a way to turn it around. Obviously, I'm trying to be a little positive because again, this team is in a pretty bad situation this season just with all the injuries, but there is a lot of injuries that should be coming back soon, so we should be getting some help should be on the way very soon. So let's just get right into this Orioles game. So going over this game against the Twins, and this game was so frustrating at the beginning because the Orioles go down 1-0 in the first, and then they tie up the game in the second, and then they take the lead in the third. And, they're up 2-1, and then, the Twins tie it 2-2 in the 6th inning, and it's a tie game going into the 7th, and then in the 8th inning, the Twins go out there and just score 3 runs, and that was it. That was enough to kind of put the nail in the coffin for the Orioles, and, the offense just couldn't score in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. Obviously, they scored 1 run in the 2nd, and 1 run in the 3rd, but they were getting guys on. There was multiple opportunities for this team to put up at least 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 runs in this game. There was opportunities to score more runs and for a chance to be more competitive and maybe even win this game, but unfortunately they just couldn't because again this Orioles offense put up 10 total hits and they were 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position, and they left 9 guys on base. So that's a lot of runs that could have been scored that they just didn't capitalize on. Again, 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Both of the runs we did score were off of runners in scoring position. Emmanuel Rivera drove in a run, and Gunnar Henderson also drove in a run. So again, it's one of those situations where, even if you look back to the series in general, they had a hard time getting on base. But in this game, they were getting on base. They were facing Bailey Ober, and they were hitting him well. Bailey Ober got through 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, a walk, and a run. But they had the opportunity to put up more runs on the board, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't put up more runs at all. Because again, this team just struggles a lot with runners in scoring position. But again, the Orioles did have 10 hits. So, there is a little bit of a positive that they're able to at least get on base, but you gotta drive guys home whenever people are on base. So, going over this offense real quick, Gunnar Henderson leading off. We changed the lineup around a lot today. This lineup looked a lot different. There was no Cedric Mullins, so Gunnar Henderson was leading off, who I suspect will be leading off probably for the future. I think we're going to move Cedric back down in the lineup just because he's been struggling a little bit. But Gunnar Henderson went 1 for 5. Jackson Holliday was in the 2-hole today. He goes 1 for 5 as well and scores 1 of the 2 runs. Ryan O'Hearn goes 1 for 3. He continues to stay pretty hot. Again, he has a 305 average this season. So, he's doing his thing. He's been the Orioles' best hitter, to be honest. Ryan Mountcastle 1 for 3, drove in a run. Ramon Laureano goes 1 for 3. Heston Kjerstad 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He has been on kind of a cold streak recently, but he's getting that everyday left field start with Colton Cowser out. Cedric Mullins did come into the game as a pinch defender, but he didn't have an at bat. Kobe Mayo goes 1 for 4, so he actually gets his first hit of the season yesterday. So that was kind of nice to see. Kobe Mayo had some opportunities to score with runners in scoring position, and he kind of just swung it. Some very outside pitches and very questionable pitches. But, Kobe Mayo did get a hit, so, that's at least nice to see. It could have been worse. And then player of the game on the offense today was 100% someone who I would have never really expected to say was player of the game. But it was Emmanuel Rivera, who was our third baseman down in AAA. Obviously, he spent some time, or a good amount of time at the Orioles last season as well in the second half of the year with the Jordan Westburg injury and the Ramon Urias injury. And just like last year with the Ramon and Jordan injury, Emmanuel Rivera is here. He did play third today. Kobe Mayo was DHing, but Emmanuel Rivera, he goes 3 for 4 and drives in a run. So Emmanuel Rivera on the season, he hasn't had a lot of at-bats, but he has a 400 average. So, that is something. He did get 3 hits. I remember last season against Colorado, I think Emmanuel Rivera had like a 2 home run game and had 4 hits in a game when we were in Coors Field in Colorado. So, he has potential, but again, it's not someone that you're really going to be relying on. And then Michael Handley gets his first hit of his career and goes 1 for 3. So, that was nice to see him get his first hit, but again, he is not going to be getting used. But, again, this offense did not really perform the way that you would have hoped, because the Orioles were in this game the entire game. They were in the game up until the 8th inning. We were up 2-1, and then it was tied 2-2, and they had a chance to really extend their lead, and they just couldn't. So, again, this Orioles offense continues to struggle. They're also dealing with a ton of injuries, so you're having to play guys like Michael Handley and Kobe Mayo and Ramon Laureano, Heston Kjerstad, and Rivera. You're having to play those guys a lot more than you would probably want. But again, we do have some guys coming back from injury. I think Tyler O'Neill should be coming back hopefully this weekend. I think Jordan Westburg is close to coming back, and I think that Jordan Westburg is coming back hopefully sometime next week. I think Tyler O'Neill is coming back this weekend. And then, again, Colton Cowser is not going to be back for like a month and a half or so because he did fracture his thumb. So he's going to be out for a while, and he's on the 60-day IL anyway. But speaking of some injuries that are going to be coming back soon, I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, that we're getting Zach Eflin back this weekend in our series against the Angels. He's been traveling with the team. He's been ready to go. And I think we're getting Zach Eflin back, and that is, I can't even describe how big of a get back that is, how big of a return that is for this team. Because again, before Zach Eflin went down, we were actually in kind of a decent boat. But Zach Eflin, obviously, he was our opening day starter. He's arguably the best pitcher on the entire roster if everyone's healthy. I think it's between him and Kyle Bradish of who is the best pitcher on the roster. But Zach Eflin, ever since he's become an Oriole at the trade deadline last year, he's been excellent for this team. And he was continuing to play like that this season in I think the only 3 or 4 starts that he had. So getting Zach Eflin back is going to be huge. All of a sudden now you have Zach Eflin obviously as your 1 guy, and then you have Tomoyuki Sagano as your 2, and then Dean Kramer, Cade Povich, and either Charlie Morton, Kyle Gibson, or whoever else you want at that 5 spot. So getting Zach Eflin back is going to be huge. I think Andrew Kittredge in our bullpen's coming back soon as well. He was supposed to be a big staple of the bullpen, but he's been out for the entire year. He hasn't played at all so far. And then obviously Tyler O'Neill coming back soon, Jordan Westburg coming back soon. So we're getting guys back. So hopefully with these injuries coming back, we can go on a little bit of a run, praying that they can win this series this weekend against the Angels. Hopefully they can take 2 out of 3, and hopefully they can sweep the Angels because they kind of need it. They kind of need to go out and get a sweep to get their season back on track. But If they can go out and win this weekend series against the Angels and just go on a run. If they're going to start getting these guys back from injury, they got to start going on a run, and they got to go on a run quick because we are now 10 games below 500. We're 5-14 on the road. And, they got to start getting some wins under their belt and start going on some good stretches down the road. Because, I mean, again, if the injuries was really the problem, if these injuries to our pitching and our hitting was really the problem with this team, then I expect to see results when they do come back. So that will be very interesting. Again, obviously, it's very disappointing that this team got swept over the course of this week. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it because, again, they kind of deserve to get swept because of the way that they've been playing. But looking at this weekend series against the Angels, because this is a big series. Because if they go out here and lose this series to the Angels, it is going to be a pretty big deal if they lose this series. Because, again, you cannot fall more than 10 games below 500. You have to find ways to step up, and you have to find ways to just do your thing and stay in games and find just ways to win games and come back into the season. Because if they can find a way, once these injuries come back, if they can find a way to get back into the season and back into 500 and maybe back even to the division race, it would be one hell of a story that this team can have. And obviously we live for those moments. So today is game one of this weekend series against the Angels. It is at 8:30. It is Angels-Orioles in Anaheim in Los Angeles. We got Tomoyuki Sugano pitching today. So obviously that is very exciting. Tomoyuki Sugano has been one of the only bright spots this entire season for the Orioles, and he does get the start today. Again, Tomoyuki Sugano, 3-2 record, a 3.0 ERA on the dot, 39 innings pitched. I mean, he's done his thing. Tomoyuki Sugano, ever since his first start, has really dialed in, locked in, and has had a stretch of such good games for this team. And you really love to see it from Tomoyuki, because he has been an amazing addition from Mike Elias. And obviously I don't like to give Mike Elias a lot of credit, but he's been a great addition. Tomoyuki Sugano is getting the start today, is getting the ball tonight, so that's going to be very fun. Obviously, when Tomoyuki Sugano's up, he's been on a very big hot stretch, and hopefully the offense can do their thing. Hopefully they can, convert runs, and hopefully Tomoyuki Sugano can keep up the hot stretch that he's on. Because every game moving forward is kind of a must-win. We can't, or every series at least is a must-win series, because we can't keep falling farther and farther down this hole that we've created. And I think Tomoyuki Sugano is going to help out a lot with that. So obviously any day it's Tomoyuki Sugano day is a good day. So Tomoyuki Sugano gets the start today, and then Kyle Gibson gets the start in Game 2, and then Zach Eflin gets the start in Game 3. So the official Zach Eflin return is this Sunday. So obviously you have Zach Eflin and Tomoyuki Sugano pitching in this series. You have your two best available pitchers pitching in this series. So you have to win 2 out of 3. You have to win at least those 2 starts. I don't know about the Kyle Gibson start. If they can win the Kyle Gibson start, I really do have confidence that they can win the other 2 starts as well. So hopefully a sweep this weekend against the Angels. The Angels have obviously been struggling as well. They're 15-21 on the season, so they are going through some struggles as well. So hopefully we can kind of take advantage of that and just try and get back into the season, because again, this team is too good to just kind of lay down and die like this. We've lost 5 straight games. We cannot make it 6 today. We have to go out there and just convert. We have to go out there and just conquer and do our thing, because again, this team is better than this, and we're getting some guys back from injury, and things are going to start happening, and we are going to be good to go. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. Whether you're on Spotify or YouTube, I appreciate all of the support. Make sure to sub up on YouTube if you like this content. Follow up on Spotify if you like this content as well. And I'll have an episode up later tonight going over the Orioles-Angels game. Hopefully we get a win on Tomoyuki Sugano Day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out.